COSM currently following our implied projections from yesterday and the video from over the weekend. We are actually looking at a head and shoulders pattern forming. One pattern that I really don't like to call because it doesn't have as much of a hit rate as a triangle would. But let's go ahead and find out exactly what's going to happen with price action within tomorrow's session. What is up, you guys? This is ARCa coming at you with a COSM technicals and raw price action threat of analysis from the location of my dining room, as time may be running against us here at the ARCa household. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts, right? Oh, we skipped the most important part, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCap. But with that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so we're looking at COSM on the 4-hour chart here, and we are currently facing exactly what we said yesterday. We are at that not 618 at 45.73, and we could be facing a continuation to the downside. If we were to project what price objective, we can actually take that with, taking a trend line from the very top of the head and shoulders, and we can actually bring it down to the neckline, and that, applying it to the point of breakout, would give us a target of about 19 cents. And I'm not sure that that can actually fortify. The good thing is that we do have this ascending this ascending trend line. I know it's just a line, but we do have also the 50-day simple moving average, which is right down here, and we said yesterday that this can actually be a form of support for us to continue on to the upside. I do have a few things to go over in the following charts, though. Please do remember that I did mention around 19 cents, 20 cents right down here, which is confluent with the 1.618 at 20.56 to be precisely. So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. So this is the broadening descending wedge that we've been looking at for quite some time now, and we did mention that upon the breakout of test number 4, which usually imposes the true breakout of this formation, I apologize, you guys, as you can hear my toddler out there. That's going to be the challenge of our analysis today. Anyway, so yes, we are looking at a potential resistance from the 10-day simple moving average that we have right above us here. Let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so that you can see exactly what I mean. There you go. That's the green line from the 10 simple. And we do have two relevant forms of support here. We do have the 100-day simple moving average, which is landing right at about 27 cents or 28 cents, if you will. And it also has confluence with our broadening descending wedge resistance, newly converted resistance into support. So the target that we were talking about in the previous chart, which is the 19 cent or 20 cent right by the 1.618, has confluence with our 50-day moving average right over here. As you can see, that is about 20.39. So there is a potential to where we can actually capitulate, come right back down for accumulation here. But if it does reach those levels, to be very honest with you, it won't last for very long. It would be an immediate recovery, something that I believe Wyckoff theory calls as a terminal shakeout. So it could potentially do that. I don't see it reaching that low just quite yet, but since there is a psychological component applied to this formation itself, then it may fortify. Another thing is that if you're really studying formation analysis, you can see that this would be an inverted cup and handle. This can also be, if you just look at the cursor horizontally here, this shape here could also be the forming of another formation. It's called an Adam and Eve formation. But regardless, each of these formations would have to fail the support line and come back up to test a newly converted support into now resistance before a continuation onto the way down. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. Okay, so yeah, let's actually blow this up to make it one single large thing right over here. Okay, so this is the divergent chart that I have here for you to be able to see what divergences are. So usually divergences are the opposition of price action versus the RSI signal. Okay, so in this case, we have caught 3 primary drives of phantom bullish divergence. And sorry, you guys. All right. Yeah, that's going to happen a couple times. My apologies. Okay, so yes, we are looking at We are looking, yeah, these are regular drives of bullish divergence, which you can see right over here. It usually happens when the price action is making a lower low and the RSI signal making a higher low structure. So now what's interesting here is that, let me just take a look at the daily real fast before we continue. Okay, yeah, on the 12-hour in particular, we could be in the process of forming, like what we mentioned yesterday, another pivot just like we did here. We could be in the process of forming another pivot here if it is that we don't fail this 12-hour candle, which has about 52 minutes and 30 seconds still for closure. If it does move on to the upside, then we would then have completed another 3 drives of phantom bullish divergence. Why is a phantom? Is because it's actually going through the price action from point A to point B to locate that divergence. Okay, so now let's open up a multi-pane so that we can see the potentials for tomorrow's session. So we're going to start with the immediate short-term time frame, 30 minutes. And this is going to be, you know what, since I'm on my laptop, I don't have the divergence chart, but what new viewers, new listeners, what you're looking at here are 4 zones of the RSI split into 2. The upper zone is the bullish control zone. The lower zone is the bearish control zone. Now, the inner workings of either zones are the weakness percentile, and the outer zones are the strength percentile of the bulls or the bears, okay, so that you can be able to tag along as I talk. Okay, so, yes, like we said, no, actually, let's do the 30-minute like we said. Here we go. Okay, so the immediate short-term time frame is right at the junction between bear weakness percentile and bear strength percentile. So this usually means that we are more than likely going to dive right into the bear strength percentile within the immediate short-term time frame. Now, the pink line represents the 14-day moving average, and the purple line represents the RSI signal. And as you can see, it's already making a bearish cross below the moving average. Now, the bi-hourly time frame is suggesting a continuation onto the downside. A very important aspect here to consider is that we are well within the deep areas of the bear weakness percentile, which usually means that we're going to be gravitated right into bear strength. Okay, so this is important to catch or to notice. Now, the 6-hour RSI is suggesting a slight pivot to the downside. It is, however, in the very shallow areas of the bear weakness percentile, which usually means that we can come right back up into bull weakness. But please notice that we are currently using the moving average as a form of resistance, if you will. So if there is a potential to where we can actually come back up and use it as a resistance before finding a continuation to the downside, and we can actually see that or confirm that with the daily time frame as it is currently with a downside pivot. But again, when we're in the shallow areas, or in this case, we're actually in the deep areas of the bull weakness percentile, which usually means that we can be gravitated right back into bull strength. There is a lot of mixed emotion right here, so we can actually bring up one more trick. So let's go ahead and do that, just so we can get a bias from our indicators as well. So these are the Crypstex indicators, or the ARC-Series indicators. They have partnered with me, or they have since endorsed me, since they believe in my strategy and they believe how I trade. So they have given me access to some very intricate indicators that give us pretty much the buy and sell signals, if you will. You can see here that it gave us a long signal went up, short signal went down. The long signal down here went up, and the short now has printed. This is the important part here. I'm noticing that we do have a short signal, and it hasn't recovered from it. So this is giving us an indication that there is a potential downside coming as well, and we are in the bi-hourly chart right here. So if that downside does fortify, please remember that there are several areas of support, but we do have to keep in mind our risk. Okay, please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets, so please do your DD and we'll be okay. All right, but the potential of the psychological component within this formation could be probable. Okay, so now just risk management here. Okay, like I said before, there is a way for you to get out of a capitulatory event, in the sense to where if you per se you have a entry right here at 46 cents, and then if you want to remove risk, you can actually do maybe a 30% dip to the bottom, stop out 30% right here, wait for a dip, maybe to a relevant support like something like this, or maybe the SMA 100 at about 26 cents, and gain that 30% entry here so that your 46-cent cost basis can actually drop a bit, thus making it easier for you to be able to reach that lower cost basis rather than you actually having to trek all the way back up to where your initial cost basis was. Okay, so these are just little tips and tricks that we all talk about within the Discord. Please consider joining. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to check that out. Join me on Twitter, say hi, send me questions. You know, there's a lot of requests coming in now, so it's getting a little harder and harder for me to reply to all of you. So please bear in mind that, you guys. I'm trying to get through everyone as you know, in an orderly fashion, if you will. But I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. Please remember not to take any, not to fall for any scams. I will never message you first, as I see that there's a lot of ARCa imposters already. I will never ask you for your bank information. I will never ask you for your wallet or anything like that. Okay, I do not have a WhatsApp. The only thing I really do have is that I currently use is Twitter and YouTube. Okay, so if somebody's sending you a message from somewhere else, it's not me. Okay, you guys. So yeah, this is now a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. I wish you well. I wish you a good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.